Hi, it is about 7 o'clock almost, New Year's Eve night, and it's just me and the dogs tonight. I saw that I have a few new subscribers, so I really appreciate that, and I just wanted to give a shout out to anybody that may see this video. I appreciate you, and I am currently healing after they took out a massive tumor out of my stomach, and I had a hysterectomy and my appendix out as well. It apparently is cancer. I am going to be going through chemotherapy, so I appreciate any kind of prayers or holding me up, for to that light and love. I don't look that great. I can honestly say that I never knew that the body could go through so much unbelievable pain. Since November, when they actually accidentally found the tumor in my stomach when they were doing an MRI on my hip. And it was just right around that time that I was like really, really feeling bad, and I didn't understand why. And then they found that and answered the questions of why I was feeling weaker and I was feeling more sick, and it was just very, very hard. And I've known pain in my life. I've known a lot of pain. I've had a lot of had surgeries before. I've had a lot of things that's happened in my body. They thought that it may have originated from my stomach, and my grandmother did die from stomach cancer in 1953, and she left my mom behind when my mom was 5 years old, and my mom has never gotten over that. I mean, she cries like a baby when she thinks about her mom. So this has been really, really hard on my mom. Like, my poor mom, she's in her 70s, and my poor mom she's not that well anyway. And I mean, she's taken this so hard, and she did drive me a little crazy. It was her and a man that I really truly loved and have loved unconditionally for many years. And he was at the hospital with me holding my hand, and I thought that was very endearing and sweet. But that's kind of off topic. But my mom, she kind of drove me crazy with, she was like I was a little baby again. She constantly thought I was freezing, and I was actually very hot. And I woke up the first night after surgery, and she had like 12 blankets on me, and the heat in the room was up to 80 degrees. I can't sleep when it's hot, so I must have been really, really drugged out. But I was in the hospital for a week. I actually just probably did a no-no and drove up the street to go take my dogs for a little run. I was not supposed to drive for another couple weeks, and I could definitely tell it in my stomach that I was just like, oh no, this doesn't feel good, doesn't feel right. So we only stayed there for a few minutes, but I do want to talk about something, that's serious about cancer. And I've had a lot of female problems all my life. I'm in my 50s. I haven't had a period since 2014. I did have my yearly womanly check, and they didn't find anything. And I knew since my 20s, when I was having problems with other female things going on, that ovarian cancer is a silent killer. And there is a lot of things, a lot of symptoms that you have that you would never think that was part of ovarian cancer. Gas and bloating was a huge for me. And I just thought maybe I ate too many brownies or something, And pain with sex, of course, that was happening. But again, I just thought, oh, well, I don't know, maybe it's like I took too much progesterone or something. Like, I really didn't know. And I hated doctors, especially after this whole COVID thing and watching the world, where it's been. I was at my last straw with doctors and trusting doctors and nurses. But the last time that I was able to put up with the pain anymore after they found the tumor, and I wasn't getting any results about getting into a doctor. It's just so much money to try to get into a doctor, and I was trying to get in on this place in the city where they take people that don't have a whole lot of money, and I had insurance, but I didn't have really hardly any money. And they actually said that they had an appointment for me in February just to get a referral. I mean, I told them, I said, you know what, I'll be dead by then. So the last time I ended up having sex was the man that I have loved for many years. I didn't want to tell him at first, but it was just like, that was it. Like, I was like, oh God, I don't want to tell him right now, because I was ashamed. I was ashamed that my body was acting like this, but I was just so much freaking pain. And I was just like, I can't do this anymore. I can't. He had left to go home, and I called 911. I went to the hospital in my little town, and they took me right in, and the nurse started talking, and she and I had the same beliefs, and I was so lucky, and I thank the Lord so much, because he put me with that nurse that night where I felt like I actually had somebody that cared about me, and cared about my situation. And the doctor came in. It was a female doctor, and I mean, they worked hard. They worked hard to get me to the city because they had to transport me. And I went to another hospital, and I was there for like 5 days. I got a colonoscopy to make sure that it wasn't cancer in my colon, because I had some issue with that before. And I got a cancer doctor while I was in the hospital, and she says, I do believe that it is cancer, because the tumor is growing, and it's growing fast, and it was 13.5 the last time they checked, and I didn't go in for surgery for 2 weeks later, and I think it was even large. It was even bigger after that, because I actually got bedridden. So I was bedridden for the last few days before I went into surgery, and I will tell you, I'm a believer in Christ, and I have heard that God will never put the body through more than a person can handle. That after a certain point, they just go unconscious. And I know that people have had a lot more worse things happen to me, like, men in war and stuff like that. But I'm telling you what, for the last couple months, I have experienced the worst pain in my entire life. I thought I was going to die. I had people praying all over the country for me. I mean, all corners of the world, they were praying. I had people all over praying for me. And people that were strangers, people, friends of friends, and family that put the word out to their churches and stuff from all over the country. And I really do believe that it was God that pulled me through. And my family, we have a pretty big family in Texas. My siblings and my mom is here, and my nieces and nephews, and we always had Christmas together. But my sister, she said nobody had Christmas this year because you weren't there, and we couldn't do Christmas. I had family members that ended up spending all of Christmas Day just praying for me fasting and praying for me. And I slept most of Christmas Day. And that night, the man that I love, he came and he sat with me. And he held my hand. And he held my hand while I slept. And you know, I know a lot of people have lost their family members during Christmas. And I'm thankful that I could still be here with my family and my friends and my dogs. And, you know, it really meant a lot to me when the man that I loved told me that, you know, neither one of us asked anything from each other for Christmas, like a present. But the fact is that I got to hold your hand on Christmas Day and just be there with you. Like, he's not very, like, emotional, but he told me that. And it just warmed my heart because I was overwhelmed with love. And I want to just give my testimony that it's 7:02 January 31st, 2022, and I am still here on this earth, and God saved me with the prayers, and I've been, you know, I've been in and out of depression most of my life, and I'm gonna admit something that I've only admitted to a couple people recently. My depression has been bad most of my life, and there has been times that I have actually cursed myself and I have wished for death. And you know what? I was near death. My family didn't think I was gonna make it. I didn't want to leave my mom behind, and I didn't want to leave those that loved me behind, and I really didn't want to leave my pupper dogs behind because they're seniors and they love me and I love them and they're my best friends. And I repented from that, and I asked God for forgiveness. And